Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Carter's an idiot.
Definitely did not botch the
Carter's
intro.
an idiot.
Definitely did not
Carter
botch
was
it.
so surprised that it worked on the first touch when he was pushing down the button. He went, wow, I can't believe that worked. And I just stared at him. And I just went, are you serious right now?
I was just kind of like, ooh, it actually worked.
You
And
blew it.
And you literally, the slow head turn like Sidious. And you're just like, you fucking idiot.
Not from a Jedi. Anyway, yeah, so trade deadline. We know it's a couple days late. We're sorry. We've been both very busy.
It's the only time, as a Red Wings fan, it feels like I can wear this and be happy.
Not during the draft?
Well,
Actually, no. Usually you drop a couple spots.
The draft lottery.
Yeah, but then drafting, it reminds you. But anyway.
Yeah, but sometimes we get a few snags.
Anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna go through the entire trade deadline, and I don't think we'll be able to timestamp these. Maybe I'll timestamp some of the significant trades, but like, even then.
If I get a piece of paper, I can write it down on there, and then you can get the general area.
Sure, grab one.
Sure, you want one? Okay.
Is it worth it?
Is
Probably not.
I don't know. You're the one who's gonna be.
Timestamping it. Yeah, you're right.
Here, I'll get a piece of paper.
Okay, so like I'm just gonna talk about the ones that are before the actual trade deadline then. So where we last left off here, I believe we'll just start with the first trade, is the Eric Stahl trade, because that's a little ways back. We know.
Yeah.
It's about.
Well, we didn't cover it, so we should
Yeah,
give our opinion on it.
It was about a month ago, and we didn't give an opinion, which I feel terrible about. It's a good trade, honestly. I like it. I like the trade for the Habs. It's a depth pickup for a third and a fifth rounder, which isn't bad. Yeah, moving on from that,
Felt
honestly.
like some people in Buffalo were a little disappointed in that.
Oh, of course. But you know what? Like,
Yeah.
just be happy. Like, here's the way I saw it. Like, was it a trade? It's tough. It is tough because
It's funny.
what happened, like in this trade, they really traded away Marco Rossi and all that stuff. But we're not talking about that mainly because that's almost a month old.
In the whole situation, that's what you should be mad about.
Okay, yes. But anyway, moving on. Another one trade, just a quick trade. Brendan Lemieux was traded to the LA Kings for a fourth rounder from the New York Rangers. I don't want to say it makes sense. As a former Jet, you know what? I hope he does okay in LA. I think maybe his, not necessarily attitude, but you know, his general tendency to fight might have been part of that.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
But anyway, moving on. Mike Amadio would be traded to the Ottawa Senators for Christian Wolanin, who would be traded to the LA Kings. Middle six, bottom six guys, that's fine. Thatcher Demko would sign for 5 years at $5 million. That's a pretty good contract, honestly. Thatcher Demko's looking pretty good. Vinny Hinostroza would be traded to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for Brad Morrison. Now, Hinostroza okay, so this is the thing that Stan Bowman does. Stan Bowman likes getting his old players back, so he's done that. So the first big trade, I would say, is Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac to the New York Islanders for AJ Greer, Mason Jobst, and a first round pick and a conditional pick, which is a fourth round selection in 2022. Condition: if New York makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals, the fourth round selection becomes a third rounder in either 2022 or 2023. What do you think about this trade?
Honestly, I know like a lot of people. I saw originally when I saw this trade, the first thing I saw in the comment section is the Islanders fleece. This is not even close or whatnot. Honestly, I think it's a good trade for both teams.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also too, it adds a lot of it adds nice veteran depth.
Yes.
Zajac was notably one of the last people, I believe the last member of the Devils to be a part of their 2012 run to the Cup final, which would end with them being absolutely slaughtered by the Kings, but we don't talk about that. That final game was like 6-1. I was like, Jesus Christ. I felt bad. That was like one of the last years Martin Brodeur had, I think.
Yeah.
He's just in net for that, and I'm like, oh my God. It was literally the day that stand-up style for goaltending literally died in front of our eyes.
Sheesh.
There was no mistaking it.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I see it good for both teams. I checked Isles Girl's
I don't.
live stream.
Okay.
She covers Islanders. You should check it out sometime. I go on live streams all the time.
I might have.
You see, you're usually busy, but I will always check in on live streams.
Yeah,
and no, she's great.
I check in on a few.
She was very happy about this, honestly, because it adds to the thing. Like, the Islanders are silent killers right now, honestly. I don't think enough people talk about them. They can really go far, and they've been having a good track record as of lately to be impressing in the playoffs.
They got the best coach in the world behind the bench.
Okay, so next trade here. Yep. All right, the Chicago Blackhawks would acquire Brett Connolly, Henrik Borgstrom, Riley Stillman, and a 7th rounder for Lucas Carlson and Lucas Wallmark. So obviously the best guys I would say in this trade, though my knowledge is limited for this division, obviously, I would say Brett Connolly and Lucas Wallmark. Connolly was a part of that Stanley Cup winning Capitals team.
Yep. And
has been a part, and he's a pretty good goal scorer. I would say it's an equal. I think Wallmark is probably the marquee guy that the Panthers wanted, but honestly, this trade is just weird to me. But whatever.
Yeah.
So next, Tanner Pearson signs with the Vancouver Canucks for 3 years at $3.25 million. Now, I see this as we're sorry we didn't sign Toffoli and stuff like that. Sign it. Like, we're sorry, we've learned. But again, the thing is with Jim Benning is he signed so many contracts in a weird way that it's really kind of it's handicapped how he can sign guys in the future. I think this is a good contract, but
you think he has too much money tied up, or?
Yes, I 100% think that.
Yeah.
But not a lot to say. So the first trade of the deadline, really, or getting near the real part of the deadline, was Riley Nash was traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a conditional 7th rounder. There's nothing to hate. There's nothing.
Do we know what the condition is? Does it say it?
It does not say in this. There was no update on the condition.
I can't imagine it would be that huge of a jump.
No, I don't think so either. And you know what? Either way, it's good. So the first one is for you now. Patrick Nemeth would be traded to the Colorado Avalanche. He's a depth blue liner.
Yep.
For a 4th round pick. And you know what? That seems fine.
That's fine.
It's not like Colorado really needs picks right now because they are planning to go deep.
No.
So then
they do not need picks. It's fine. We can.
This is
we can lose a little bit of depth guys because it's funny. Depth guys for me, they kind of seem like kind of the late part. Like when you're building your core as a team, you kind of build the depth a little. You tend to build them. It seems a little bit later. You establish you try to establish your star guys, your top 6. Your top pairing defenseman, you get yourself your goaltender.
Yeah.
And then you start getting little bits and pieces, trading away, 4ths, 6th, 5ths.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll trade away a 1st or whatever if you get like this really big rental or whatnot. But
right.
Yeah, so that's fine. Detroit doesn't need a depth guy like that now.
So moving on, another decent trade was Brandon Montour to the Florida Panthers for a 3rd round pick. This is an interesting one because Brandon Montour was a guy that a couple suitors were sought after, but the thing is that Brandon Montour, his numbers aren't great. Now, the natural response to that, and it should be this, is he plays for the Buffalo Sabres. And I'm sorry, Sabres fans, but your team is not good. And your team is being specially shit to you right now because they couldn't win for a month. Now they're getting points when they should be successfully tanking. And at this rate, the Ducks could finish lower than them, in which case you have fucked yourself 7 ways to Sunday.
Yeah, I think the tricky thing for Buffalo is they got obviously they weren't doing that great, but they got bad at the worst possible time in the sense of
they got better at the worst possible time.
They're in that too. But if their players that they're trying to dish away are not getting as many points, their value is not as high, so Buffalo's return will not be as high. And I think there's a trade later where they will be quite furious about.
Okay, well, there's another thing I need to talk about that trade. But yes,
we'll
Brandon Montour, I think, should be a good depth piece for the Florida Panthers, who are missing, of course, Aaron Ekblad, I believe, is the one that was out for the season.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one that was a pretty interesting trade now. Devin Dubnyk will go to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for Greg Pateryn and a 5th rounder to the San Jose Sharks. This is what I like to call the insurance policy on the goaltending situation in Colorado. Because what failed Colorado last year? Goaltending.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like for any fault of their own. They just kept getting injured. Francouz is out for the season, I believe. He's not coming back. So now they need...
So what they give up? Can I just see?
Great pattern. So he's like a depth guy, ? And a 5th rounder. That was the guy they acquired, I believe, from the Minnesota Wild for Ian Cole or whatever.
Wow.
It was a while ago. But yeah, no, like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, I don't see this isn't truly groundbreaking, but
No.
it's a good trade for Colorado.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to
Gives them a bit of a more security.
So let's get to our first 3-way trade now. So, one of the defenseman prospects that was getting looked at.
I love this trade.
Okay, do you want to write it in or?
And, well, I'm just gonna tell you the reason I love it, because I mean, obviously, I
write it in, and I'll tell them the trade first.
Okay, yeah, you go.
So the trade is a 3-way trade. David Savard and Brian Lashoff will go to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Columbus acquires a 1st and a 3rd round pick, and Detroit, for retaining salary of David Savard, who has never played a single game with them, gets a 4th round pick.
Yep. All they have to do is pay 25% salary, and they get a 4th round pick.
Yep, that's fine.
That's it.
And all they gotta do is get the salary, the cap
That's
floor.
awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Because we are getting rid of virtually nothing, and we're gaining a 4th round pick for free.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, it's great.
So
that's exactly what we like.
Yeah, like it's not much to hate here. David Savard was one of the defensemen that had been floated around. His name, Ekholm, was floated around. Although the reason Ekholm didn't get traded was because Nashville seemingly got their shit together, but I would argue that they might still fall apart come playoff time. In which case, you've accomplished literally nothing except burned a year off Ekholm's gone. Because Ekholm had a year left. That's why they demanded the King's ransom, and I understand that. But now they're at this place of limbo where they're not amazing, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
Which could be their downfall here. Shall we move on, or is there anything else you want to say?
There's really not all. That's really all
Good
I want to
on
say.
Columbus to get a 1st and a 3rd.
Yeah.
That was good. So another minor trade now. Jonas Siegenthaler. Sorry if I say that wrong. We traded to the New Jersey Devils for a 3rd round pick that would be sent back to the Washington Capitals. This is apparently I don't know a lot on him. A lot about him. But like I think he's a younger guy. I could be wrong, but you know what? Like move your prospect around. So now let's get to the second 3-way trade, and arguably the biggest trade of the thing. I would argue it's probably up there. We'll say second biggest trade, because the biggest trade is probably the last one we'll do. But Nick Foligno, Stefan Noesen to the Toronto Maple Leafs, a 1st and a 4th rounder to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and a 4th rounder to the San Jose Sharks. Let me just tell you.
And the Sharks are doing the same thing that the Red Wings.
However, the Sharks are giving away Stefan Noesen, who I think is what his name is.
But they're also doing retaining salary.
Yes. So, what do you think of this? I think this sets up Toronto very nicely. No.
Yeah.
So Foligno should be 3rd round or third line winger. That'll do well.
Yep.
Like Nosen's is pretty solid, and then again, San Jose, who doesn't like talking about the fact that they are rebuilding, gets a 4th round pick, and Columbus gets another 1st round pick. Which, honestly, when we think about it, this makes up for the fact...
Wait, so they get this is the second 1st round pick that they're getting.
Yeah. But it's
good.
interesting because they've also lost... Remember a few years ago, they lost a lot of 1st round picks and stuff like that when they were going for Dzingel and, what's his face? Duchesne.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Mike Riley has been traded to the Boston Bruins for a 2022 3rd rounder, which will be sent to the Ottawa Senators. Good depth defenseman, honestly. I would have actually been interested in him going to Winnipeg, but I understand why. Yeah. Moving on. Braden Coburn has been traded to the New York Islanders, where I guess he will be the commander of the press box. And a 2022 7th rounder has been sent to Ottawa Senators. And I'm just saying that because Coburn got his Stanley Cup ring with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He didn't play. Didn't play at all. Which is fine. You know what? That's fine. Give the vet something. But he's depth to the blue line, so.
Yep.
So this is
And
another.
you can't say and you know what? If he didn't play, then you can't say he did good or bad in that run. You know, maybe if they put him in, he would have been a bigger contributor. Who knows?
So let's get to another big trade here.
Yep.
Now I need you to explain this one to you. I need to explain this. Okay?
Yeah, please go through it. Just
I knew you were about to rip in, but I need you to understand why.
No, not yet. Not yet. There's more than most people are thinking.
So Taylor Hall and Curtis Lazar go to the Boston Bruins for a second-round pick, and Anders Bjork, who is a bottom sixer, will go to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, here's the problem, and I said this. If you go back and when I say about when Taylor Hall signed with Buffalo, I fucking said this would happen, and it was actually worse than what I theorized. So here's what I'd said. I'd said, Taylor Hall doesn't need to be on a good team to start the season because no matter what, he will be traded to a competitive team by the end.
Yep.
Because it's a one-year deal. If he sucks, or if the team sucks, if he sucks, the team will take more of the blow than he will, so he'll be sent off.
And and now I know exactly what you're about to say.
And
you're about to talk about that. No.
Yes.
Yep.
Now here's the thing that made it worse.
Yeah.
Buffalo being the dumbest
Shot
motherfuckers in the league sometimes. They shot themselves so far in the foot, it's still digging down into the earth. They signed a no-movement clause to a one-year prove-it deal. To a guy that everyone in the whole league knew was not going to finish the season as a Buffalo Sabre. They gave him a no-movement clause. Now, why is that a problem, you might be asking? Because now Taylor Hall gets to pick where he gets traded to. And you have to agree with that, or you don't trade him at all, and you get nothing. So what happens? You get almost nothing. You get a bottom sixer and a second-round pick because Taylor Hall wanted to play in Boston.
Also, you know what I hear most Sabres fans are pissed off about? Obviously, they don't like the whole entirety of this trade. The thing that they're most pissed about is losing Lazar.
Lazar's a solid, Lazar's a solid guy.
He's a solid
I don't even know why Lazar was in the deal to begin with. You're telling me you couldn't keep him?
And I remember, and I saw Melody Martin's thing about this. She was losing her mind.
Well, she was pissed, and I don't blame her.
Yeah, I mean, who can blame her? But
her management's dumb.
She was just kind of like, Nick Foligno gets a first, and Taylor Hall doesn't.
But that's the thing. The Bruins knew they didn't have to give it first up because Taylor Hall wanted to play there.
Of course
there were better offers in the East, but Taylor Hall wouldn't sign there.
Yeah.
And Taylor Hall.
This is a win for Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall fucked over the Sabres more than John Tavares ever could have with the Islanders. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Like, he literally had one of the worst seasons of his life, and then said,
"What? Didn't he go and get?
Bah!
He got what? 2 goals?
3 maybe. He produced nothing and literally cost them a prospect. Like, oh my lord.
Lazar's a solid player.
Okay, so
like if I'm Buffalo, I'm so disappointed in this. Like, because
I'm deeply disappointed. But you know what? I'm even deeper disappointed the fact that you signed a no-movement clause. Maybe I was dumb and I didn't realize they signed it at first. I just assumed they wouldn't be that dumb. And you know what? I'm not saying that the Buffalo Sabres team is just dumb. Like, the entire thing is dumb. It's your management sucks. And you know your management sucks. And you know you deserve better. And I agree with you. If my team was run like that, I would actually believe the bullshit that some of the Jets fans say when they're like, we're gonna fire Chevy and everyone. But we don't! Because our GM knows what the fuck he's doing. We have a future.
Yeah.
You don't. Sucks. You have my pity. Anyway, next trade. Jeff Carter is now the latest early retirement home owner to go to the Pittsburgh Penguins after Matt Cullen. So pretty much, like, Pittsburgh's made a habit now of just acquiring older veterans at the deadline for not dirt cheap.
I heard
Jeff
Carter's done pretty well this season.
Yeah, he has, but the Kings have actually kind of overperformed in some ways. But anyway, he was traded to Pittsburgh for a 3rd rounder and a 4th round pick, which is not too steep, but actually a pretty good return for Jeff Carter, honestly, considering
at
obviously
this stage in his career.
Yes, exactly, and it's weird. because there was Matt Cullen, there was Patrick Marleau. There's probably someone else I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But, like, do Pittsburgh's moves make sense to me? No. I'm going to be honest. Pittsburgh seems like they're on the edge of a cliff. And the second that Crosby and Malkin regress even a little bit too much, they're going to fall into the trap that the Red Wings did. And I feel like we're on the cusp of it. Yeah. They've been consistently trading away their first-round picks. And, like, even picks like this, they don't need to trade away. They're 1 foot in the grave. I don't see this team going deep.
They're holding on to the aging core.
Right. And they're just kind of letting it out.
And I guess the thing with them that I think is tricky is there are teams like Boston that they, as much as they have that aging core, they have been able to get some younger guys in there that have done pretty well to kind of extend the lifetime of that core.
For sure.
Pittsburgh, I don't see that. Pittsburgh, I see them just picking up more and more aged players and hoping that, you know what, maybe they can do something, but it's not enough to win them a cup.
Okay, so moving on now. There's 2 waiver claims here. Victor Mete was claimed from Montreal to the Ottawa Senators.
Yep.
And Sami Vatanen was claimed from the New Jersey Devils to the Dallas Stars. Now, Kevin, I'm okay with you getting Jordy Ben, but why couldn't we claim either of these motherfuckers?
I was really disappointed we didn't get Vatanen.
Vatanen would have been fine.
Vatanen would have been really nice.
He would have been all right.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess it's okay. And honestly, I hope Mete does well in Ottawa. He was a guy that you heard about in the early stages of his career quite a bit, but then he never had enough room. And honestly, it's funny. Mete's not a bad defenseman, but he just happened to be on probably one of the best teams in the North Division in terms of defense.
Yeah.
So there's no room for him. Now, moving on. Former Jet Dmitry Kulikov has been traded from the New Jersey Devils to the Edmonton Oilers for a conditional 2022 fourth round pick. We don't know the condition. That should help your blue line. Blue line. Actually, Kulikov's numbers defensively, really good, actually.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? And he always was. It's just that I always saw him as a guy who just couldn't contribute properly offensively in the return, which was annoying to me. Now, moving on, I don't want to say low, what are you doing? No-name prospects, but Frederick Clausen for Magnus Krona? I don't know.
I don't really
It really sounds like they made up 2 names.
I don't know
sorry.
any of these players.
If you guys know these people, tell them we're sorry, but
we just don't know.
Sell your brand, NHL. But Clausen would go to Tampa. Krona would go to San Jose, and I'm still not convinced that this isn't a fake name. Moving on. Adam Gaudette would be traded to the Chicago Blackhawks for Matthew Highmore. What the hell? And this was the first day of the trade deadline. So, Gaudette has 7 points in 33 games. Highmore has 2 points in 24 games. Now, fun fact, Adam Gaudette, patient 0 for who conducted COVID from the Vancouver Canucks. Now, I don't want to say that's cutting out the disease, but, Jesus Christ. In my opinion, Gaudette has a higher ceiling than Matthew Highmore, so I guess it's a win for Chicago, but either way, it seems like it.
It's funny, because when I think about that deal, well, one of those players, I know the name, and the other one I've heard the name, so that kind of also says a little something.
So moving on now. So this is an extension.
Yeah.
Alex Iafallo signs for 4 years at $4 million annual average with the LA Kings. He resigns. Now he has 25 points in 39 games this season, and you know what's interesting here? Iafallo has been playing top line minutes, and I've seen a lot of people hard on the Kings and him being one of the reasons why you can tell that their team is not where it needs to be, and I will agree with that. I wouldn't say that Iafallo is probably in an ideal world a first line player. I'd say he's a solid top sixer though. I think with more support and proper structure, he can be a solid second line player if you play him correctly, and I hope he plays well with this contract. It'll be interesting to see, I think. What do you think? Don't know too much about it? It's okay.
There's not too much, I think, about it. It seems fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so now the Colorado Avalanche have reacquired, because he used to play there, Carl Soderberg from the Chicago Blackhawks for Ryder Rolston and Josh Dickinson. Neither prospect heading back to Chicago is projected to be an NHL player, so this was probably just a pickup for Colorado. Interesting. Yeah, he's 15 points in 34 games this season. Solid pickup.
Yep.
And now moving on to the next extension, Scott Laughton signs with the Philadelphia Flyers for 5 years at $3 million. Now, I understand. We should really get this clear here. Whenever I say something's a bad deal or a bad decision, I mean it from a very skeptical place. I understand that all hockey players have to support families and themselves and just in general. So good on them. I don't blame them for signing contracts. Okay.
Yeah. You don't blame the player for getting the money he can get.
It would be horribly representing of myself to say that I should shame somebody for signing a contract. I'll just say that. Okay. They all have to support themselves.
Do you want money? Yes, you do. So
I don't
can you blame them? No.
Now, if I'm Scott Laughton, would I have 5 years at $3 million? It's good for him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he wants to be. If I was him, if I would want to be on the sinking ship that's the Philadelphia Flyers. And let's be honest, it's beginning to sink. We're seeing holes here.
Mm-hmm.
Carter Hart's not ready. I wish he was. I had him in my fantasy hockey team. He single-handedly fucked over my entire fantasy season. He put up -8 on a weekly basis. It screwed me. But yeah, you know what? Good for him. Good paycheck. So now another big trade. Actually, no. You know what? I need to mention one thing that what I forgot was a waiver pickup. So the Florida Panthers pick up Nikita Gusev, $1 million for 1 year from the New Jersey Devils because the New Jersey Devils terminated his contract after a year, which is dumb. But Gusev is a noted goal scorer, especially from the KHL, who honestly I like. I had him on my fantasy team last year. He's a good player. The problem is that he doesn't understand a lot of the structure of a two-way hockey game, and in his defense, he never fucking needed to. And this boils down to something I've been very vocal about. The KHL does not develop defensive prospects very well. So, and that carries over to how they project or talk about defensive forwards and forwards playing two-way. It's very much about high octane, high scoring. The occasional goaltending prospect comes out of there. Askarov comes to mind, of course, but he had to be really good to stand out. But Gusev signing in Florida, I hope they play him.
Because Askarov, you could not develop as an offense.
But anyway, I hope Gusev has a good time. I hope he gets signed long term.
Who picked him up again?
The Florida Panthers. Right. And you know what? Fair play.
Florida made a lot of moves.
They've been making moves.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on now to Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett was traded to the Florida Panthers. He's finally, the rumor mill for Sam Bennett is over. He's traded to the Florida Panthers for a second-round pick going to the Calgary Flames and Emil Heineman. Heineman was a second-rounder last year, so it is essentially 2 seconds for Bennett. Decent.
Yeah.
Which is funny because when you think about it, they got a better return for Sam Bennett than Buffalo did for
Taylor Hall,
which is fucking dumb.
That's insane.
Sam Bennett should be okay there, honestly. Depth player. Hard for him to really make an impact, but you know. And you know, this is the part that I was talking about that was a little worrisome. I think Flyers are low-key selling. So here's what they do. They trade away now Eric Gustafson to the Montreal Canadiens for a 7th-round pick. So, first off, what the fuck is this? What the actual fuck is this, Philadelphia? What the fuck is this? What are you doing? Eric Gustafson is not an amazing defenseman. He's a middling offensive defenseman who played a lot better when he had a lot better offense to pass the puck to. A 7th, my friend, though, is fucking pathetic. You should have got at least a 5th. Or a 7th and a 5th. Or 7 7ths and a 5th. I don't care. This is a sad return, and you were retaining 50% of his salary, so what the fucking fuck? Great job, Bergevin. And then the Flyers also would trade away Michael Raffle for a 5th-round pick. Okay, sure. He's depth. I would have traded, yeah, 5th's fine. It's weird. When you see a single-digit trade, like a single late-round pick, you're just like, really? You couldn't have got, like, 2 of those?
Yeah.
Just one? Just one?
Yeah.
Is that it? But yeah, no, it's fine.
Well, you know, some of the teams that are buying may want to make more than
this
one.
Okay, so this is the trade that I think I told you about this. I was fucking blown away. So, Hayden Fleury, was traded to the Anaheim Ducks for Yanni Hakanpää and a 2021 6th-round pick to the Carolina Hurricanes. So here's the interesting things we have to know. Hayden Fleury is a good defenseman. He is. He's actually a really good defenseman, and I think he's a pretty young defenseman too. He was actually arguably one of the better defensemen in Carolina's last year's playoff run. However, the thing is that Carolina has a lot of good defensemen. They do. They have a lot. And so being able to sign Hayden Fleury was kind of a looming threat. And also, too, they weren't really sure where they could use him because
the return was?
But honestly, Anaheim here this is a great move for Anaheim.
Yeah.
And this adds to what I've been saying for months. Anaheim is going to be scary in a couple years.
The rising core.
Anaheim is going to become a low-key like Ottawa is becoming. You know what we talk about? Ottawa is going to be scary in a couple years. I would put these guys just as good. They have Sam Steele, Hayden Fleury now. They have Kevin Shattenkirk for veteran leadership to mentor that defensive core that's growing up. They have Jamie Drysdale, who is no fucking slouch, and he's not going to be. Trevor Zegras, Troy Terry, Maxime Comtois. This team is going to be good.
Oh, they will. Yeah.
So moving on now, the Jets did something.
Kind of hope they would have done more, but you know.
But you know what? No, I'm okay with this, and I talked about this with Jake, Peg City Hockey.
When I say more, I mean maybe claim a player off waivers. But that'd be it.
Who's the other guy? The guy that I was maybe hoping they would eye is Jamie Alexiak. However, he plays in the Dallas Stars, and the Dallas Stars think they're still contenders right now, so it's hard to take stuff away from them. Jordy Ben would be traded to the Winnipeg Jets for a 6th-round pick in 2021 to the Vancouver Canucks. And you know what? This is great because, and here's why. Low risk. You've traded away a 6th-round pick. Those also rarely turn out.
An important thing to note, they're trading with another Canadian team.
Yes.
Meaning that they can put him in the lineup right away. Yes. Well, now, I think they're probably not going to play him Saturday because I heard the Jets don't practice
Not till next week.
They don't practice Friday, from what I heard. So they probably. I
heard it's not till next.
Yeah, you want to have him play. You want to have him practice with the team to see where you're gonna fit him in.
So this is what I've heard. Okay, this is my opinion on this. So 6th-round picks. I think I looked it up. Since 2006, only about 5% of them have grown up to become NHL players, which is small.
Yeah.
When you have 30 picks. So that's okay. And here's the thing. This is how I compare the Jets trade rumors. So what were we linked to first off? Matthias Ekholm. So he has 1 year left on his contract. So naturally, they demand the King's ransom. So what would they have wanted? They would have wanted an elite level prospect. Dylan Sandberg's name was floated around a lot. Let's be honest, Jets fans. We thought in a way he might be gone. And you know what? Compared to the other defensive prospects, I understand that, but I would still rather keep him. But anyway, so that 1st-round pick, that could be scary, especially with Seattle on the way. And Sami Niku. Bye-bye. With Niku, who could still possibly turn into a good bait for a trade later on. Here's the thing.
Or bait for Seattle.
But why did we ask for this? Because Matthias Ekholm is a solid, maybe even arguably like a very high-end defensive player, defenseman, or defenseman, who has a year left on his contract still, so he would have been able to play with the team the next year. Here's the problem: when we found out that they demanded the King's ransom, like Billy Hainla, we were like, no.
Yeah, no.
So we thought about new options to trade for defensemen, like Manson and everything, but we forgot to fucking change what we were offering. The entire Jets fan base agreed that it was okay now to give away that much to other players, even though they had 0 years left on their contracts. And they're not as good as Matthias Ekholm. And And if you didn't think this, then don't be offended about me saying it. Because then I'm not talking about you. And it's okay. If you were saying this, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Ville Heinola, Dylan Samberg, those guys are making the chow.
Yeah.
Eventually they will, no matter what.
Especially
Heinola is going to be one of the best players.
He's
He's going to be one of the best defensemen in the league. Fucking mark my words.
Okay.
He got the top defenseman award in the World Junior Championship.
Yeah.
And he looks like he fucking belongs.
Yeah, he does.
The kid's gonna make it. Anyway, moving on though. Like, don't be upset that we didn't go all in. Because let's look at the teams we're up against. The North Division is being touted as the weakest division. I'm not going to say that's true. I'm just going to say it has game plans that are different than the rest of the divisions. Which is mostly, fuck the defense, we have the goals. And who's the juggernaut of our division? Toronto. Don't overextend your power to try to beat a juggernaut. Because then you will only kill years off your future.
Yeah.
I would rather not beat... I'd rather go on 2 years, go on two deep playoff runs than try and go for 1 playoff run now and run into like juggernauts in every division.
And one thing that I was very, very set on was that the Jets, for rentals for years now, we've thrown away first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw
And
away
look what happens when we keep them.
Yeah.
Billy Heinola and Cole Perfetti.
Yeah.
Fucking keep your picks! Anyway, moving on. And honestly, I like Jody Benn, and I hope he does well. Madison Bowie will be traded to, and a 5th-round pick will be traded to the Vancouver Canucks for a 2021 4th-round pick.
Kind of hurried up.
Yeah, of course. Good for Madison Bowie. Good Manitoban. He was on the Stanley Cup winning Capitals. Good for him. He's moved around a lot, though. Now, this is the big one. This is the last one.
First off, I want to specify.
Write it down first.
I want to first off.
Can I say the trade first? What
go
it is?
for it.
The Detroit Red Wings just Stevie Yzerman the Washington Capitals. The Detroit Red Wings acquire Jacob Vrana, Richard Panik, a 1st-round pick in 2021, and a 2nd-round pick in 2022 for Anthony Mantha.
That's it. I love this.
Okay.
First off, I love Anthony Mantha. I want to put that there first.
Okay.
However, by the time the Red Wings are at a point where they're going to be going for deep playoff runs and they're going to be cashing in, he's going to be on his last legs.
Oh, they grow up so fast. Keep going, keep going. You're doing great.
And we're getting Vrana, Panik, a 1st, and a 2nd.
Now, part of that is
I cannot believe the return. We charge the king's ransom here. And I love it.
Here's the...
And we got the king's ransom.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Since recording this, since time of recording, Mantha's already got a goal and an assist in 1 game with the Capitals. They won in a blowout, though, it's worth noting. I think Mantha will help the Caps. Is he a UFA? After this year?
I think he is.
I'm not sure.
Now, I think Vrana or Panik is an RFA after this year. I can't remember.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Vrana.
I think it's Vrana, yeah.
I'll check here. Cap-friendly Detroit now.
You wanted it, but honestly, if we gave away Mantha and we got just a 1st and a 2nd, I still like
Jacob
that.
Vrana's got 1 year left on an RFA with arbitration rights.
Okay.
Richard Panik has 3 years left on a UFA.
Yeah. See, if we got just a 1st and 2nd, I still would like this deal. But the fact that we were able to snag Panik
Jacob Vrana
and
is
Vrana,
a huge addition for you.
yes, especially
The
since
kid's good.
I would argue that Vrana and Mantha are pretty close.
They're a little bit different systems.
A little bit different, but in terms of actual skill level, I'd argue that they are in the same ballpark. I'd still say Mantha is a better player for sure. However, I'd say you're in the same ballpark.
Mantha is not a UFA.
Is he not?
Mantha has 4 years left on a UFA deal.
Okay.
at 5.7 mil.
I'm still okay with that though. How old
He's
is he?
He's 26, so he'll be 30.
See, exactly. But like, by the point, at the point that the Red Wings are really starting to kind of grow in the standings, he's gonna
look at it this way.
He's gonna be in his early to mid 30s.
Okay, so look at it this way. Okay, Jacob Vrana is he is 25.
Yeah.
So he's about
Yep.
a year younger or so.
Yeah.
About a
That's
year
fine.
younger, but he plays He plays very similar, and also he's an RFA, so they can sign him long term if they like him a lot.
Yeah.
Which I think they probably will.
Yeah.
Richard Panik is fine. Depth.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
All right,
he's
now-
about 30 years old. Just wait.
Yeah.
And then you had that first and second, and this
Yeah.
is really good
Yes.
building. Like Stevie's got a lot of picks coming up.
We
So-
got 6 picks out of this, and I could argue we could have. There's only one thing Detroit, and it's not what they did do; it's what they didn't do that I wish they would have done. You signed Bobby Ryan onto a 1-year
thought that
deal. Come on, guys, we could have dished Ryan. We could have
could've.
got something for him. You know what?
Oh,
it's good
no,
that you got
couldn't
him
have.
for a
No,
year.
you couldn't have.
No?
It's on our. He's injured reserve. That's why.
Oh,
That'd be why.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so let me tell you how many draft picks you got coming up. 2 in the first round, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 0 seventh round picks in 2021.
That's fine.
In 2023, you have all of your picks. In 2022, though, you have 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the third, and the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, and 1 in the seventh. So now, let's
And that's in what draft?
in the 2022. Now let's move away from this and just
Wait.
kind of look at this overall.
2022 or 2023?
2022.
Oh, that's good.
2023, you have all your draft picks.
Yeah, because 2021 is not the strongest draft from what I hear.
Mhm.
However, I heard
So,
2022 is supposed
I
to be
missed a
pretty
couple
solid.
on this. I missed a couple trades, and I'm just going to talk about them. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yes, I know.
This is
David
gonna be one
Riddick
of
was
our longest
traded.
videos ever.
David Riddick was traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a 2022 third round pick. What do you think of this? I think this helps goaltending depth for the Leafs in worst case scenario.
Yeah, well, if
I think Calgary's selling, and I think Calgary realizes they need to break some more pieces, and I think they do. They got to break the whole thing down.
yeah,
You didn't
Calgary.
win with the core.
Calgary needs to start chopping off some heads.
Yes. So, as well, Ben Hutton, a defenseman, has been traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a 5th round Anaheim pick. Good defensive depth. Yeah. So, and then the last one we have here is Eric Branson is traded to the Nashville Predators for a 2023 7th round pick to the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah,
Is what it is. Yeah,
and I
it's
think
fine.
we covered it in just under 45 minutes.
Yes, actually, one other thing
Oh, yeah,
here.
I forgot something.
Sorry, it wasn't on NHL discussions thing. So, Vegas will acquire Matthias Janmark, I believe,
Yes.
and I don't remember for who. It was like
Check on your thing that shows all of them.
Right, that's true. Does it show all of them? Yeah, Matthias Janmark and a 5th round pick for a 2nd round pick and a 3rd round pick from
We're really
Chicago.
pushing the limits of this
I know. Which is it's fine. It's honestly it's a decent ass trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So yeah, that's about it. Thank you. We know this took a while, and
So
we understand if you didn't watch the entire video. You could have. This is why I wanted us to timestamp them, because I will be putting in these
Because
timestamps.
I guarantee you there's going to be people that are coming here just for certain trades.
Yeah, and that's fine, because we literally covered every single trade.
And you know what? Like, for example, I watched Hockey Guy's video. I went there just for the Mantha trade. That's
Yeah,
fine.
That's fine. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching. If you are new to this channel, please hit subscribe. Also, holy crap, you made it really far in for a first-time viewer. We also cover a lot
You
of stuff.
did.
I
Give
cover
yourself a
Jet
pat
stuff
on the
all
back.
the time. Yeah, we cover a lot of different topics like Star Wars, Batman, all of that.
Wrestling.
All the fun stuff.
Yes, wrestling. He does some wrestling stuff.
Go watch it. Please leave a like on this video because you know what? It took a lot of effort for us to do these, but we
45
really
minutes,
do
man.
appreciate doing them.
Yeah.
And also so other people can go check us out as well and find out about us because we're trying to hit 350 subscribers by the end of the month. And you know what? We're getting there. We're really getting there. We are so thankful for the support we've been getting. Thank you very much, all of it. Like, we really appreciate it. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Known Hockey Podcast, because then if there's ever any delays in posting videos, like my Jets fan reaction ones, we will let you know in advance.
And also, if you have any suggestions, feel free to give us a message
Comment
on there.
them below.
I will respond.
Yes.
I've had some people message some suggestions.
And-
some of them we've used, some of them we haven't. But
Yes,
it's good to hear
and-
feedback.
And don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on all of these trades.
Every single
because
one of them.
we will talk
All
about
of
them.
them.
I answer literally everything.
Yeah,
Even if you spam, which you shouldn't, I will politely say, lol. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Oh, we went so long.
This is going to take forever.
Yes.
to upload, you know it.
Yes. Thank you for watching. See how many times it takes you to click it.